Hello, I'm Dr. Shruti Singh. Today we're going to take a few moments to discuss clinical trials.
The most fundamental question is, what is a clinical trial? Simply put, clinical trials are research studies that are used to evaluate new treatments, such as new drugs, surgical procedures, or testing methods, determine their safety, then their effectiveness. So what are the different types of clinical trials? Before a new product or treatment is approved for use by the FDA, it must go through 4 phases of development. Each phase represents a significant milestone in the development of an advancement in treatment. First, the preclinical phase is where a new drug is studied in the lab on cell tissue or animals to gather some information on potential dosing and toxicity to determine if there is a benefit to the test of drugs on humans. This phase most often lasts several years.
Once the preclinical phase is completed, we transition into phase 1 clinical trials, which is the first time a medication or a device is used in humans.
The primary goals of a phase 1 trial are to evaluate safety and to gather information on how the drug interacts within the human body. This may include identifying side effects, safe doses, and potentially effective doses. Phase 1 trials typically last several months and may include only 10 to 50 patients. These patients come from a broad range of cancer types.
After the completion of phase 1, 70% of trials establish a safe dosing option, and then we are able to move on to phase 2 clinical trials.
In phase 2 trials, researchers hope to determine if a potential treatment is effective, learn more about the safe dosing and side effects. These studies typically only study patients with 1 or 2 specific cancers. They may have several dozen patients or may have several hundred. Usually in a phase 2 clinical trial, all patients receive the same dose. Sometimes patients are placed randomly in different treatment groups. Each group may get different doses or get the treatment in different ways to see which provides the best balance of safety and response. These trials usually last several months, but may last up to 2 years.
During phase 2 clinical trials, when we have established the efficacy of a treatment and that treatment's side effects do not outweigh its potential benefits, we then move on to phase 3 clinical trials. Only 20% of all trials make it from phase 1 to phase 3.
Phase 3 clinical trials compare the safety and effectiveness of the new treatment against the current standard treatment to determine if it is a better treatment option than is currently available. These studies most often have thousands of patients participating at dozens of different research institutions, hospitals, and community offices across the country. Phase 3 trials last for several years, so enough data can be collected to determine if the new drug being studied is in fact better than the standard of care already FDA approved and recommended. Often these trials have multiple arms. Some patients in these trials will be randomly chosen to receive the current standard of care. Others will receive the standard of care plus the new medication that is being tested. A third arm may test the standard of care plus a placebo. This helps the researchers determine if the tested drug benefits the patients while still providing them with at least the same treatment they would receive had they not participated in the trial. Regardless of the type of phase 3 trial, a patient will know exactly what the possible arms of the trial are before electing to participate. They will know whether they are guaranteed to be receiving the current best available therapy, or if they may be participating in a trial where they may only be receiving a new therapy which may or may not prove more effective than the standard of care.
I hope this has led to a better understanding of the different phases of a clinical trial and how they allow for cancer advancements.
For more information on clinical trials and trials available for patients with cancer in Northwest Indiana, please visit nccindiana.com.